Hello, welcome to Krafting Kitty. My name is Erin, and it is Saturday. It's a little late on Saturday. I ran some errands this morning. But that means it's time for my weekly roundup. Yay! Okay, so I'm going to be a little honest. This video might be a little choppy. Seems to be having some gas issues. Excuse me. But, so if I have to start and stop, I'll start and stop. But we got to get recording, right? Anyway, Erin's going on about weird things going on with her, but not talking about what the weekly roundup is. So, the weekly roundup is where I go through my week in crafting. We talk about any WIPs, works in progress, and FOs, finished objects I might have. I also, at the end, tend to talk about the book I'm reading. So if you're interested in chit-chatting about books, hold on through the end. If not, totally understand. If you're just here for the crafty goodness, thank you. So what I have today, I finished 4, but I put one of the things was for, well, I finished 5 actually. One of the things was for a yarn review, and it's over there stacked with the yarn review stuff, so I'm not going to show that. The other one was the Berber Afghan. I finished it, that big mosaic blanket. It's in the wash, so I can't show it. But that's okay. I did some adventures with the Addy. Let me tell you about this. So I had this carrot and cotton cake, and I tried to make a cowl from that Addy knitting book with it, and it turned out pretty badly. But it fit bingo, so that's fine. But I think it was Igor Knits suggested if she stopped using it as a cowl, I could always convert it to a bag. And I was like, that's amazing! And I still had a lot of the cake left, so I was like, I'm going to just whip up a bag with it. So I was cranking and cranking, and then it got to like 175 rounds, and I was like, Erin, what have you done? What have you done? So, I made an infinity scarf. So I just took the tube and whip stitched it together, and I made a little infinity scarf / cowl. And there you go. Like, I held it up to Brian and I was like, look, I was making a bag. And he was like, what? Yeah. So, a little infinity scarf cowl type situation that I made on the Addy king size. I also used the rest of that Ferris wheel cake in pink marmalade. Yeah, pink marmalade. And I did make a little matching cowl for Bingo. So this is just the rest of the cake. It does fit over her head nicely as a little cowl. And so she'll have a little hat and cowl set for her. And this one, I didn't do any fancy treatment on the ends. I just, you know, bound it off, and that's why it's a little curly and weird. And that's totally cool. What? And I get to claim this. Oh, Hattie! Oh, Hattie fell. Okay, we're going to look at the hat without Hattie. Sorry. I did do the Bod Hatapalooza this week. This hat is potentially for a giant. I know it's supposed to be slouchy. I used some Mainstays acrylic that I got in a mystery box. It is blue multi. I used a full skein and then a little bit out of the second. The final row of clusters and then the brim is pretty much what I had to do out of the second skein. This is the hat I made. Like, Hattie probably ran because she's like, that doesn't fit me, and it wouldn't have. So I'll put it on, but it's like ridiculous. I don't know what I did. Oh my gosh. It's like I followed Crystal's instructions to a T. I think maybe using, I think this was a 6mm crochet hook think maybe a 5.5. But there we go. I made it. This will be donated. Hopefully someone with a gigantic head or a whole lot of hair. Somebody with a whole lot of hair finds this hat. Right, I mean, it has to be useful for someone, right? I did it, Laura. It was made. It's going straight to the donation box. Okay. And those are my finished objects for the week. All right. I think I'm very happy with that. It's exciting. Like I said, I'm especially excited for finishing that big afghan. That's like getting the big project off your plate. Awesome. Getting that project completely off of Whip Island. It's been liberated. Is amazing. I'm so happy. So, what did I do? I started 2 new projects. I did. So this project is another blanket. This is Mel from Lethalia's Little Hook and Mama G Gear are doing a crochet along. Come on. Why won't you separate? There we go. And they're using this free pattern from Yarn Inspirations. It's called Wavy Granny Crochet Blanket. There you go. I have a black and white printer. It uses a 5-weight yarn. I couldn't find a 5-weight yarn in my stash that I A, had enough of, and B, wanted to use. Actually, no. I think everyone I found, I just didn't have enough yardage. I think so. So anyway, I had those skinny cakes that you have not seen this video yet. That's okay. I bought some more skinny cakes. And they were sitting here wanting to be used. So I decided to use them and make the blanket. So I had to extend it. I fear I might have extended it too far. But this is how far I am. I'm maybe 5, 6 rows in. 5 rows in. That's how much I showed you the cake, how much of the first cake I've used. Bingo saw me working on it and said, "That's so gorgeous. That's for me." I said, okay. So I'm going way against the pattern. It says that you should use a 5-weight yarn. I'm using a 3. I am also using a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, which is bigger than I would normally use for a 3-weight yarn, but that is okay. I think it's going to make a good blanket and help the blanket work up more quickly. I have 2 of those cakes. I'm starting to be slightly concerned it's not going to be enough because I made it too wide. We'll see. I'll finish the first cake and decide from there if I need to try to get more. Okay, let's do... I have got 3 crochet projects and 1 knitting project. So let's show the second crochet project. I am working on the Callie the Cat from Crochet Cute Critters by Sarah Zimmerman, who is, of course, repeat crafter me. And Bingo wanted, this is for Bingo, Bingo wanted a rainbow cat with purple paws. So I've got the head done. I've got the body done. I think I put the legs in slightly the wrong place, but she doesn't care. And an arm. So we're getting closer. She needs 1 more arm, ears, and a tail. So should be done next week. But there you go. Rainbow cat. And she does indeed have purple paws. I picked the amethyst red heart because I thought it kind of went best with the favorite stripe, which I'm using as the rainbow. Okie dokie. So those are 2 of my projects. We'll go for my knit project next, which is my socks. And here I'm using the Go Your Own Way oops, I gotta put this back. Otherwise I will go, where's my book? Where's my book? From Knit Picks. It's a free pattern. I did check. It should be linked in the description box. Now that I say that, I don't know if the Crochet Cute Critters books is linked in the description box. If I remember, I'll check. No promises. I am using some yarn I got from Colleen at Grammy Colleen Crochets. It's Cozy Toes. It's all jumbled up here. In the colorway Balloon Brigade. I started making this thinking I was making it for my husband Brian. Then I realized the pattern was for a female sock. What is going on? Oh, it's stuck on the stitch marker. There we go. Okay. And then I was looking at it, and this is way, way stretchy and super big. So I think there is a chance this will end up fitting Brian's foot. We'll have to see. I told him he'll have to try it on. But what I have done, it's a toe-up sock, which I've never done before, which is very exciting. I have completed the toe and that section, and I finished the heel turn, and now I'm doing the heel flap. And I think, whoops, you kind of make the gusset at the same time as you do the heel flap. There's a lot of weird increasing around the heel to make it go like that. And now as I'm doing the heel flap, I'm decreasing stitches. So I think by the end of the heel flap, we'll be back to the stitch count and just zoop, zoop, zoop up the leg to the thing. But this is going pretty quickly. I'm fairly impressed here. As I said before, I done messed up and didn't do the magic cast on. So I'm going to have to sew the toe closed, and that's fine. I'll do a magic cast on for the next one, which should mean I don't have to even sew the toe closed, which is fabulous. So there you go. Pretty close to, no. I've just started the heel flap. It's a slip stitch heel flap, but it's done differently than the ones I've done before because, oops, I have a split stitch there. When I've done them before, you've done slip knit, and then you'd purl all the stitches on the purl side. But for this one, you are knitting all the stitches and doing a slip purl. So your slip stitch is on the wrong side of the work, which is interesting to me. It's kind of fun, kind of different. I just have to make sure I don't fall into old habits, right? Okay, so those are my socks. And then my final whip, my final one I'm going to show is another new project. I don't have a pattern for this one. This is just out of my head. The kids, for some reason, are obsessed with bamboo yarn. Whenever I take them into Joann's or Michael's, they pick up everything and say, "Is this bamboo, Mommy? Is this bamboo?" So I finally let them pick out some True Boo from Joann's, I believe. They were having a decent sale on it, and I said, fine, we'll do it. So, knowing Chomps has been not getting most of the projects lately, I pulled out Chomps's bamboo yarn and started his sweater. So here it is so far. I'm doing kind of a raglan style top down. I've stopped here because I need to try it on, because I think this might be the yoke done for him. If not, there's just a few more rows. And then I'll split for the sleeves and work the body. He has this kind of steel gray, and Brian said, "Oh, chainmail," and now I can't get chainmail out of my head, so I'm pretending I'm making him a mithril sweater. But he also got one skein of celery green. So I think I'm going to do a chest stripe in the celery green after I split for the sleeves. Probably do the collar and the collar, cuffs, and waistband with some green on it as well. But we'll see. All of that is to be decided. Yeah, I'm just kind of freehand crocheting that, hoping it's going to turn out. Actually, this is the third attempt. The first attempt I did all double crochets and it was way too loose. I'm using a 5mm hook. And on the second one, I was like, ugh, can't do double crochets. So I went down to a 4mm hook and redid it, and I was using half doubles, and it turned out all wonky. And I was like, no. And then I ripped it out again, and now that's what I currently have. I went back to the 5mm hook, but went back to the half double crochets. So that is what I'm using. Half double crochets, 5mm hook, true blue yarn, and I'm making a sweater. Awesome. Yeah, I think that's all the yarny goodness I have. Yeah. Don't have much more to say. I think for Things for Making Thursday, I might just show that granny square blanket. And so just kind of work on that. I don't know if I'm going to finish that blanket as part of the cowl. I have promised to pattern test something. So I'm going to have to put that at the forefront. So the blanket might fall to the wayside for a little bit. But that's okay. Okay, so now we are going to go ahead and talk about books. As I said, I'm putting aside the book that wouldn't burn to focus on finishing this book. I am over halfway done now with the Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. This is a very slow going book. I'm not quite liking it as much as the first book, I'm going to be honest, but I think it's starting to get exciting. I think maybe in my fantasy books I like a little bit more action. And the first half of this book was a little light on the action-y side. And I mean, that's okay. A lot of people love this book, so I'm not slamming it. I'm not saying anything. Everybody has their own opinions on the books, but yeah, to me it felt very slow going in the beginning. Now we're getting some more action, and that's exciting. And yeah, I don't know how much to say about it. There's a lot of talk about how you deal with trauma and joint trauma, healing after trauma. If you read the first book, you know that ending was dramatic. So a lot happened, and now they're trying to move on from that. And I can see where she's doing a lot of character development, and the main character had a huge shift that has to be dealt with, and I totally understand that. Yeah, we'll have to see how I feel when I come to the end of the book. I don't know when I'll finish, but like I said, I'm over halfway, maybe close to 2/3 done. I'm on page 362, and there are 624 pages, so not quite 2/3 done. Maybe just over half. Is there that much stuff in the beginning? Oh, there is a lot of pages in the beginning. No, there's not that many pages in the beginning. And so I guess that's a true representation. But there's not that much in the beginning and end. Huh. Yeah, my math isn't mathin', but that looks well over half to me. Well, half of 624 would be 312. And if I'm at 362, I'm, what, roughly... Yeah, I'm exactly 50 pages over halfway done. So there you go. 50 pages past halfway done. Okay. I think we're going to call it there. Thank you for bearing with me, and we had no issues. What? See? Mention it up front, and it's okay. It doesn't happen. Oh, I will say, I had a couple of questions on the Fridays with Fred video. I did get in contact with the with my doctor. It's all cool, and the trigger was me eating lunch. They called during lunch. Of course, it was associated with a meal. But yeah, everything's good. Thank you for your concerns, and hopefully I'll have more answers next week. I have a bunch of tests coming in, so there might be there'll probably be less in the crafting completion thing, because we have a very busy week next week. I have a lot of doctor's appointments, and we have a lot of kid appointments too, you know, parent-teacher conferences, all that kind of stuff. So we'll see. We'll see how that all adds up next weekend. Okay, I'll talk to you later.